As promised on last week's show, Hannah Brook from Safe Nest is in.
Thank you for having us.
We talked about this last year. Mm-hmm. It's the Harvest Festival. I love that event, September 9th through the 11th at Cashman Center, where it's always held.
That is correct.
This is a lot of donations that you get through your partnership with the Harvest Festival.
That's correct. This is our largest food drive throughout the year. It fills our pantry for the year. And I was actually just told by the shelter director last week that we are bare to the bone. So this is a very important drive for us.
Timing is everything.
Timing is everything.
We don't have to bring bags of groceries.
No. We're looking for baby items such as diapers, wipes, bottles, and then any non-perishable food items that are not expired, double check. And think about what it is that you would eat. If you're just cleaning out the pantry to clean out your can of beets, might not be something that somebody will take.
I love beets. I'll be keeping those for myself. Those are good for you.
Yep.
But yeah, useful.
Useful items that you're not going to overstock for Thanksgiving and then say, here's a food drive. I'm going to clean out my pantry.
From last year. No. Don't do that.
So we're looking for common sense items, spaghetti, pastas, green beans, corn, canned vegetables, anything that you would like to fix your family for dinner.
It will help you guys for the whole year.
That is correct.
For anyone who's unaware of what Safe Nest is.
Safe Nest is a domestic violence shelter here in Southern Nevada, and we provide services to domestic violence victims through our confidential shelter, through advocacy, counseling, as well as providing preventative education to the Clark County School District.
Mainly it's women, it's kids.
Correct, and some men.
Yes, but men, and they truly can be victims of domestic violence, they need to be sheltered in another location.
Right. We still have a confidential shelter for them, and we offer them all of the same services that we offer the women and the children. So they get the exact same type of counseling, they get the same type of support groups. It's just for men.
Hannah Brook is with us today from Safe Nest. I was thinking about this, mentally putting myself in the place of a person who has to escape a domestic violence situation. Mm-hmm. How unsettling that would be, that you are trying to, here's a term, bug out of your house, get whatever you need, and the kids, and the pets, everything that you can, and go. What would that do to you? I think I'd be needing counseling after that.
Well, a lot of times the victim doesn't realize that they need counseling at that point. They're really only thinking about their survival and the survival of their children. And so really what's beneficial regarding our program is that we do have a hotline people can call if they're thinking about leaving, if they're not sure that they're even in a domestic violence situation because they're questioning themselves. There's a lot of self-doubt. They can call and we can simply walk them through everything that they would need to do. We're not expecting them to pack a bag at that second. They can call us numerous times if needed to build up that courage to finally take that leap of faith. They can reach our hotline at 702-646-4981, 702-646-4981. And they can talk to an advocate. Confidential phone calls, nobody knows who they are. They're not going to judge. A lot of times you'll hear people say, I didn't know my friend was involved in that situation. Well, your friend probably didn't want to feel that they were being judged. Even though that wasn't your intention, there's certain phrases that people tend to say, I just am going to keep this to myself.
Chances are we all know someone
yes,
who is dealing with domestic violence, whether we're aware of it or not.
Right. The national average right now, 1 in 4 women are affected by domestic violence. Here in Las Vegas, it's 1 in 2. It's really an epidemic that we need to focus on and get resources to the individuals that need them to help them leave those situations.
Normally, before you depart a situation like domestic violence,
right,
there are steps that you go through. I've seen different stages of action where it's pre-contemplation, then it's contemplation, and then at some point you take action. Safe Nest has some really wonderful services. Your website, for instance. I know that when I'm curious about something, just like I looked at your website for other purposes today, I go online.
Exactly.
I search it. So I would imagine a lot of the people, primarily women,
yes,
who are looking at your website are kind of checking into it.
Yes, but very important for people to realize, delete your history. And there is an escape button. Some people are even afraid to get on the website because they're afraid they're going to know that I was looking. Well, there's an escape button and there's ways that you can delete your history. Always make sure that if you're going to either make that phone call or if you're going to get on the website, make sure that you're in a safe environment. And one of the things that will help you do is put together a safety plan. So you may be thinking or contemplating leaving. Only the victim knows when it's the correct time to leave. It's very easy to judge someone or to say, oh, they should just leave. It's not that simple, because the most dangerous time that a victim has for their own life is from the moment that they step out that door and they're going to file for divorce or leave the situation. And so it escalates a dangerous situation even higher. And that's what we're always concerned about. So preparing to leave will help you come up with a safety plan. That may be putting important documents aside, giving it to a safe person, phone numbers. Because if somebody takes your cell phone, are you going to know the phone numbers that you need? Money will help you open up either a separate bank account or just start stashing money aside. Things that you need to survive if you were to leave the situation.
When we talk about domestic violence, when the woman, whoever that person is who leaves that abusive situation, it is a very dangerous time, as you mentioned, for them.
Exactly. And we've had 2 high-profile cases this last year. I want to say one was in May and one was in June, where both victims were in the process of leaving. And unfortunately, that's when the boyfriend or spouse, it was a murder-suicide. And in one case, I want to say 3 children were killed.
It's heartbreaking in any situation like that. And I know things like restraining orders don't always stop that person. It's really very frightening.
It is. And what people have to realize is they'll mock a restraining order. It's a piece of paper. But the reality of the situation, you're dealing with someone that isn't using their thought process appropriately.
No, it's emotional.
It's emotional. Getting a restraining order is important because it does leave a paper trail. Will it keep you safe forever? No, we cannot guarantee that 100%. But at least you're taking those steps so that people and authorities are aware that you're not in a situation that's the safest for you and your family at the moment.
That person, that abuser, at the point where the victim of domestic violence exits the relationship, exits the premises, they're losing their control at that point.
Exactly. And that can be scary for some people.
And it can cause some really terrible situations to occur.
Yes.
It's so important for places like Safe Nest, domestic violence shelter, to care for those people as they're thinking about coming out, preparing to leave the abusive situation, that they know that you're always there. Safe Nest is there 24/7, 365. You guys never, ever are closed to a person in need.
Exactly. And to let you know how many people we helped last year, just through our hotline and our shelter alone, it was over 50,000 people. So the need is here in the Valley. We can hold up to 81 people in our shelter, which is confidentially located, again, for the safety of the victim and their children. The average person stays about 2 months, and we will help them get back on their feet. And I've heard people say a shelter is a gross place. Not when you walk into our shelter. I will tell you, we've had 8-year-old kids say, this is the first time in my entire life I've ever felt safe. Imagine being an 8-year-old and never having that feeling before of confidence, of safety, and you have to be in a domestic violence shelter to feel that. So it's very important for services such as ours to be available to people throughout the Valley.
That's not the way for kids or any person to have to live where you sleep almost with one eye open, afraid of what might happen.
Right. And so besides helping mom out or dad, whoever is accessing our services, we also provide services for the kids because kids need it too. They've been traumatized just in different ways. And it's our job to let mom be mom, because sometimes the kids may be playing other roles, and then teach the kids how to be kids.
A lot of innocent victims in a situation like this.
Yes.
Safe Nest is so easy to help because coming up very soon, September 9th through the 11th at Cashman Center, we've got the Harvest Festival. I love that event. I can buy so many things there. And if you donate to the drive that's going on, what is it called? The Welcome Home Drive?
Yes.
Baby things, diapers, baby
items,
wipes. Baby food.
Yep.
People food, but good food.
Yes.
Bring it by and you get a coupon, I believe, for $2 off the admission price.
$2 off the admission. We'll be there all 3 days collecting food, and it fills up our pantry for about a year. And what's really nice about our shelter is we have a full stock kitchen. And by us being able to provide amenities such as canned foods and pastas, then mom and the kids can get into a routine by cooking their own meals, having their own space, and just quote unquote having a normal life for the moment. That's just one of the many things that we do.
Mentally, Hannah, I just keep going back to the statistics that across the country, about 1 in 4 women are affected by domestic violence. But the number here in our area, in southern Nevada, is 1 in 2.
Right. It's scary. It's very scary.
That's a stunning number.
Yep. And then there's been a lot of conversation also regarding gun control and background checks. And if there is a firearm in the house, the statistic goes up to 500% that a victim will be killed in their home through a domestic violence situation. So there's a lot of parameters that SafeNest is always worried about: legislation, victims themselves. So we're always out and about in the community and throughout the state.
Hannah Brook with SafeNest is in studio today on Talking Solutions. What is your actual title?
Director of Community and Donor Relations.
You were talking about things like being part of decisions, ordinances about gun control, because it's such a huge issue when it comes to domestic violence and the danger involved.
Right. A background check. That's all we're looking for, is that people receive a background check on the firearm that they purchase. Yes, we're well aware that you can get a firearm off the street. Yes, we're well aware that you can purchase firearms over the internet. But if you look at the last 2 cases that I touched upon, where the dad killed all 3 of his kids and his wife, I believe he had bought the gun off the street. But these types of background checks are important because it also raises red flags in the event somebody has been convicted of a domestic violence situation.
Because you've got a paper trail.
Exactly.
If you've done that in the past, I would think chances are better than average that you will do it again in future.
Right.
Because to you, that's a solution.
And I will tell you, we're all about the Second Amendment. We are. But the reality is, too, we want to keep people safe.
Yes, especially these primarily women and their children trying to flee abusive situations and get out safely.
Exactly.
That's what SafeNest is all about. Hannah, we always ask on the show, what can we do to help you? I know we've mentioned the Welcome Home Food Drive that has to do with the Harvest Festival at Cashman Center, September 9th through the 11th. But what else can we do to help you?
Well, I know we're already coming into fall. Christmas is going to be upon us very quickly. So, again, food drive, that's a huge help to our shelter. Any donations in kind, clothing, you name it, furniture, we'll take it. Any type of baby items, we always have infants in the shelter. So diapers are a huge thing, formula, anything that can help the moms feel normal, I guess you could say. And of course, we're always looking for cash.
Cash works.
And
one size fits all.
Yep. And if you don't have something to give, then at least give your time. We always have positions open for volunteering, and we have a lot of events coming up. Again, the Harvest Festival is coming up September 9th through 11th. Then we have ACTS. That's the Advertising Community Talent Show, September 9th as well. And that's at Chrome Nightclub at Santa Fe.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
And then in October, we have Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We ask everyone to wear purple. You might see purple lights on around the valley. We have our luncheon on October 14th. You can volunteer for that. You can purchase a ticket online at safenest.org. We just have a lot going on.
The website, safenest.org, we were talking about how some people who are victims of domestic violence may be looking at that website but very fearful. And when they have to escape out, what does it do when you hit escape?
I want to say it blacks out. I haven't been on it in a while. I haven't hit the escape in a while.
But you've got safeguards.
Yes, we do.
To help.
We push safety as the number one priority. Make sure that you're safe. That's what we want to hear first.
Safenest.org is the website.
That's correct.
To volunteer, donate, that would be a great place to start.
Right. Also, I know that a lot of high school students need volunteer hours. If they hold drives for us, for hygiene kits, for toothpaste, pajamas are a huge need. You can start looking for winter pajamas now for us. Sometimes moms and kids walk into our shelter with just the clothing on their back. And so we do like to provide them with a brand new pair of pajamas and a hygiene kit, which might be toothpaste, just your simple anemones. We also will take donations of unopened shampoo, conditioner, hair products, African-American hair products, combs, brushes, anything that's new. We actually set up a little shop, and what people don't realize is the decision-making process for a victim can be very difficult because for a long time they may not have been allowed to make a decision. So we set up this room, and they're allowed to go in and shop for the products that they need. And you may have someone in there for 10 minutes. You may have somebody in there that can take up to 2 hours. Those types of processes are very important for us. And so we always like to have enough things on hand that we can actually stock shelves.
Freedom would be a little bit overwhelming if you've been restricted.
Yeah. We should touch on the different types of abuse, too, that we haven't discussed yet, and that can be financial abuse. Do you know what your bank accounts are, your passwords? Are those being kept from you? Sexual abuse. Just because you're married doesn't mean that rape is legal. It's illegal.
Consensual.
Yes. Consensual sex is still consensual sex. Sexual abuse, financial abuse, emotional abuse is huge. It's not okay to to call somebody names. Be respectful to one another. Those are just some warning signs to take a look at.
So maybe you think one of your friends is the victim of an abusive situation. Are there any little red flags that should make us pay attention?
Well, start watching. I actually heard a quote yesterday. Your friends are the best sniff test when it comes to relationships. Listen to your friends if they're starting to go, something's not quite right. Why are you not bringing that person around? You used to go out with us all the time. You're no longer doing this. You're no longer hanging out with us. Why don't you ever have money anymore? You haven't gotten fired from your job. You don't text anymore. You don't stay in touch with us. You don't stay in touch with your family. Those are just some of the simple things to watch out for because it can be very manipulative.
Tighten the screws and lock it down.
Right.
Restrict their circle.
Exactly. The less people that know.
My friend isn't talking to me on the phone anymore after work. I don't get that.
Yeah. And if you have questions, you can call our hotline. Again, that number 702-646-4981, 702-646-4981 if you have questions. But again, if you are a victim of domestic violence, you're not quite ready to leave, but you just want to talk to somebody, call our hotline. That's what we're there for, 24 hours a day.
I will make sure that the number, the website, all the information and links are on our Talking Solutions Facebook page as well. But Hannah Brook, the statistic, it's stunning, quite honestly, that 1 in 2 women in our area are the victim of some kind of domestic violence.
It's scary.
It's horrible. You can't get statistics a lot higher than that.
No. And again, we stress safety. And so if you are in an emergency situation, dial 911. We have a great partnership with Metro. Metro calls us. They'll put victims on the phone. We'll get somebody in shelter. But those relationships are very, very important. Don't be afraid of the police. We know a lot of people, well, police are going to do this or going to do that. No, the police are there to help. And by combining our agencies, supporting one another, we can give the best help possible.
And when you make the decision to go, when you're in an abusive relationship, you, the kids, it's a safety issue. Make contact with the people who can help you get where you need to go.
Exactly. And some people don't leave because of cultural reasons, religious reasons, because nobody in their family has ever been divorced. But I will tell you, you'd be surprised at how many people finally leave the situation and then make that phone call to their family, and their family's like, oh my gosh, why didn't you call us sooner? You know, we would have helped you sooner. So don't allow someone to tell you lies that no one's going to help you, no one's there for you, because there's always somebody to help.
I have to believe that silence is your enemy when it comes to domestic violence. If you keep it all internal, keep it to yourself, you go, I got this, I can handle this. It doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
There are people who can help, including Safe Nest. I just feel tremendous empathy and compassion for someone who's going through this and the numbers in our area. We know for sure that we're talking to somebody right now who's in that situation.
Exactly.
A lot of somebodies.
Yep.
Who could use your help. I would say don't be afraid, but I can't imagine that you wouldn't be.
That's correct.
But there are people to help. Safe Nest is an option, and it's something you should consider. If you are looking at it from your own situation, if you're looking at it for a friend, we all have people who are in this scenario, so let's see what we can do. Pay attention to our friends more closely and help wherever we can. Volunteer. Donate. And specifically, the weekend of September 9th is not only the Harvest Festival at Cashman Center with the Welcome Home food drive for $2 coupons to get into the Harvest Festival. What a great event.
Yeah.
You've also got the Advertising Community Talent Show.
Which if you want to see some really great talent, come and watch it. If you want to see some really bad talent, come and watch it. It's just,
That's what makes it fun.
Yeah, it is really a fun event.
We have some very talented people who are involved in broadcasting and the media overall. It's fun to see them. And then there are the ones who only think they're good.
Yeah.
It really is a fun time. All the information on the website?
Yes, on our website at safenest.org. Or if you want more information on ACTS, you can go to actslv.org.
Once again, all the links will be on our Talking Solutions Facebook page, Safe Nest, and Hannah Brook. Anything I've forgotten?
No, just thank you for all your support and all your help, as usual.
Come back and visit during Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
I will be back.
October. It's a date. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having us.